Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are going to be talking about top 10 Mystic characters in Marvel Contest of Champions. And Mystic, compared to other classes, doesn't have that many characters. I think Tech and Mystic are the only classes who have less than 30, but even then this top 10 list is kind of competitive, and there are some characters who are pretty good but didn't make it in this list. But we're going to talk about them at the end of this list. But starting at number 10, we have Mojo. So Mojo, an amazing defender, and on offense, if you have him awakened and at a high signature level, then this character is really fun. I don't think he is the best for anything, but his damage output is pretty respectable, and overall he is a very fun to play character. So that is why he's at number 10. Then at number 9 we have a pretty old but still a really solid character, Dr. Voodoo, and I think not having immunity hurts him a little bit, but in a non-poison immune character matchup where the opponent has a lot of buffs, he can be extremely good, and he still has really powerful power control and nullify in the SP1, and he has regeneration at the start of every single matchup. With the odd combo you can also get some defensive ability reduction. You do need him awakened, otherwise you can't really control his odd even combo and get the stuff that you actually want. And ideally he does benefit a little bit from the signature ability. Mr. Class in general, I find a lot of these characters, especially in the top 2, top 3, they don't really need to be awakened, but Dr. Voodoo is definitely an exception there. And then at number 8 we have a character that I do not know that much about, but Dragon Man. He is a robot, he is double immune, and I've seen some pretty interesting gameplay. I recently pulled him as a 5-star. I will be taking him up and testing him out, but being a double immune character with respectable damage output, and after the SP3 there is a phase where you take very little damage and you can freeze a lot of stuff with that. And just looking at this regen, power gain, fury, armor, precision, cruelty, clearly he has a lot going on for him. And on top of that, he is also a pretty decent defender. But again, I don't know much about him. Similar has a rank 3 one, and he makes a lot of amazing content with Dragon Man. So moving on to number 7 is a character that, if she is like a very unique character, if you are good with her, then you can take her 3-4 spots up in this list. But if you are an average Marvel Contest of Champions player, then you can even take her a little bit down in this list, because Tigra is extremely hard to play, and you need to know your spacing, you need to be good at using heavy attacks, and her playstyle is just very different from the usual character in the game. But she is incredibly powerful. If you go to Fintech's channel, if you like search Fintech MCOC on YouTube, you will be able to find under 2 minute solo of the map 7 apocalypse boss on day 5, and that is the power of this character. And if you don't know, like in my alliance at least, we have a lot of problem against that APOC boss, and most people just go for Corvus timeout methods, and it takes a lot of time to get him down. But Tigra, incredibly powerful character for a lot of stuff. I have a rank 3 Tigra soloing the a rank 3 6-star stubborn alliance war tier 1 boss on the channel if you search that. But Tigra is just an incredibly powerful character if you can play her right. Then moving on to number 6, we have Longshot, and a lot of people say he's overrated, a lot of people say he's underrated, so he's a very weird character in that sense. But I think he is a solid character who is really good in situations where the opponent have a lot of buffs. But even if the opponent doesn't have that many buffs, he's still pretty decent as long as the opponent is not immune to incinerate. I'm a pretty new Longshot player myself. I just have him at rank 3 at the moment, but I will be taking him to rank 5. He'll have a lot of burst damage potential with his special 2s. Overall, love his animations, and I have seen, if you go to Ink's channel, this could also be a video where I'm just shouting out other amazing content creators. But anyways, he has some videos of him against the Abyss, Red Skull, and there are some people who have used him in Abyss as the Mystic option, and he works pretty well. So he is an extremely powerful character, no doubt. And we usually, like whenever there was an Iron Man Infinity War placed on part 6 section 2 rage node, we used to send Longshot there, and he used to make a pretty quick work of him. But then at number 5 we have a character who people might be angry about this, but I have placed Simi Supreme at number 5, and I really love this guy. I used him in my best initial clear, even though I have Dr. Doom, and he was really powerful for a best initial clear. I do believe he's the best Mr. character for initial clear of a base, just the easy path. Otherwise, like if we take a look at a base as a whole, then Dr. Doom is definitely better. But if the opponent is not bleed immune and if they gain a lot of buffs, Simi Supreme is definitely the best counter to that particular fight. There are a lot of fights where he just excels, like 6.2 champion boss and stuff like that, and like after the SP3, when you have stuff going your way, then he is just an incredibly powerful character. If you haven't seen, he can solo a lot of Alliance War bosses and stuff. He has really powerful armor breaks, he has some power control as well, so there is a lot this character can do, and a lot of bleed damage as well. But at the same time, he doesn't have any immunities, not really suicide friendly, and against your general matchup, but personally at least, even though I have both a Zixta rank 2 and a rank 5 5-star version of Simi Supreme, I don't really see myself using him, and the other 4 characters, I find them more versatile, which is the reason I have placed him at number 5. But I can see if someone is mad about this placement and thinks that he should be, like, I guess with mystics everyone knows who the top 2 are going to be, and that is not a question that a lot of people debate. But anyways, at number 4 we have a very old but very good character, Magic. The reason I have Magic over all these newer, more cool characters is because she is hands down the best power control character in Marvel Contest of Champions, and that is one of the, if not the most important utility for a character to have, like power control, regeneration, and defensive ability reduction. These are kind of the things that makes a character good utility wise, and damage output is not great, but with some synergies it could be enhanced, like Morningstar synergy, or I think she has a synergy with Warlock as well. But even without synergies, she could have more hits than an average character, because you can completely power lock the opponent and then go for intercepts, and just completely after like a few SP2 she just shuts down the opponents. And if we see tier 1 Alliance War right now, it's a very interesting thing. Like a lot of people in these big alliances have a really good rank 3 6-star roster, but Magic is one of the very few characters, like Magic and Quake, who people still bring as 5 stars over some other powerful rank 3 6 stars, because they are just extremely good at what they do. And a SIG 200 Maverick still extremely powerful in Alliance War and very common for fighting annoying defenders like Killmongers, Mojos. Like when Mojo Flow was the most common boss, everyone was bringing in their Magics, and she is just absolute MVP for all sort of quests, from Act 6, Act 7, Variant 5. Like my Mystic roster, 5-star one is really good. I have like 5-star Doom, 6-star Doom, 5-star Simi Supreme, 6-star Simi Supreme, Magic, Magic, Longshot, Tigra, Dragonman, like all these characters. I don't have a Tigra, never mind. But I have a lot of tech. I have a lot of top Mystic characters, but I found myself using Magic more than anyone in Variant 5, and that is because of a power control, suicide friendliness, because she heals the recoil damage and stuff. So that is the reason I have placed Magic at number 4. And then at number 3 we have a character, again this is a character I do not have, but I've seen enough gameplay to say Sorcerer Supreme is the 3rd best Mystic character. Reasoning is that she has a lot of utility, she has good damage output, not the best but pretty good, and she has slow mechanic, which is pretty rare in characters still, and she has armor break, she has regeneration on the block, which is really powerful. Like when map 7 had the Annihilus mini boss, I have a video on her as well, by the way, but I have a clip where Annihilus throws a special 2 and you block it with Sorcerer Supreme, health goes down and it shoots right back up. She is an extremely powerful character, amazing for offense, alright on defense as well. So overall, like I do think the Sorcerer Supreme brings a lot of value to your roster, which is the reason I have placed her at number 3. And then number 2 and number 1, I'd say everyone would know, and they are actually interchangeable depending on your mastery setup. If you are running Suicide Masteries, then Dr. Doom is not that great, but if you're not, then of course he is one of the most powerful characters in the entire game. But let's first talk about Clairvoyance. So if you're running Suicide Masteries, then I do believe that she is the best mystic character in the game. She has decent damage, that's not really her thing, but main thing is the fact that she brings a lot of utility. She has triple immunity going for her: bleed immunity, poison immunity, and incinerate immunity. She can move between the phases relatively easily. Like we now have Jubilee, and you can see that it's really hard to be in the right phase before launching the special attack. That is not the case with Clairvoyant. In the Curse of Bleed phase, you get regeneration. It's extremely powerful and scales up really well with stuff like prowess and incursions, or from any kind of node, like the nodes that increase your special attacks, or just nodes like Flare, which increase your attack in general. She's just amazing for all of that stuff. And lately, like we had the John Mulaney challenge, Aegon Claire MVP, Act 7 Clairvoyant MVP for a lot of chapters. So overall, there's just a lot of stuff. Clairvoyant is the best option, or the top 3 option, and all of Marvel Concept Champions is just filled with stuff. Clairvoyant is just an incredible option for all of that. She's great against immune characters. You can just go for your heavy attacks and then use a pretty big SP3, and incinerate. Like if you just want raw damage, you can go for incinerate phase. Now, is that damage more than all of these other characters? Probably not, but it's still alright. Like you won't be timing out anywhere with Clairvoyant. And then in the poison phase, you also have some power control. Nothing great, not comparable to characters like Magic, but at the same time she does have it. And also, like, her awaken ability, not required at all, but it has saved me a lot of times. It is basically a cheat death mechanic for a little bit of time after using the special 3. So in case you're fighting a character like Hyperion, it could be useful and give you some regeneration. And then at number 1, we of course have Dr. Doom. Really glad to have him as a 6-star. Got him after my Abyss run, and I also have him as a 5-star. And this guy, once you get the opponent in the Doom cycle, he is just really ridiculous. Basically, he just doesn't let the opponent through any special. Repairing is something that if you're good at that, then Dr. Doom just becomes really powerful. He is not immune to bleed poison, not really suicide friendly, because he does need to use his special ones. But overall, as a character, because he brings a lot of damage to the table, he brings some solid power control. I still think, even though he's great at power control, I still think Magic is the better of the two if we are just exclusively talking about power control. But if he's a weakened, he can also do some cheesy stuff with characters who gain a lot of buffs. Like you can heavy spam in the corner, and if you nullify a power gain, you can get a lot of power gain, making him the best counter to characters like Vision Arcus or Hyperion. And yeah, there is just a lot of, like, even after that, if you are as skilled as these top level players like MSD, if you use the SP1 and gain the aura and you just do light intercepts and stuff, then that is also a really powerful way of gaining power and not giving power to the opponent. Also, like when you have the aura up, you have some unblockable special attacks, and you just do an incredible amount of incinerate damage with him with 2 furies and special 2. So overall, Dr. Doom just has a lot going for him. But Mystic class, I would say none of them are really hard hitters. There is a lot of damage with Dr. Doom and 2 furies, Clairvoyant with Suicide Masteries and Incinerate phase, Longshot in a matchup where there are a lot of buffs. Same goes for Simi Supreme. But overall, like, I even did a damage comparison between Dr. Doom and Mephisto with synergies, and Mephisto with synergies easily won that. So that should tell you how much damage Mephisto with synergies can do, and also the fact that Mystic class in general is not known for damage output but for the utility, and all of these 10 characters have a lot of utility. Now some honorable mentions, I would say Morningstar deserves to be in this list, but I don't like building her up, but you can't deny that she is an incredibly powerful character, and whenever there is an Incursions tournament, everyone just goes for Morningstar because she is that good when once you build her up. And I don't know where, to be honest, I just forgot about her, and now when I'm looking at this complete list here, then I'm thinking that she is better than characters like Mojo, Voodoo, and maybe even Dragonman. And there are definitely situations where you would want to use her over all 10 of these characters. Again, example, Incursion run or anything in the future which has just an incredible amount of block damage and stuff. Just build her up at 5 souls. She has regeneration, a really good perfect block chance, an amazing amount of damage. She can copy buffs and reduce the potency of the Ordnance buff if she's awakened, although she doesn't need to be awakened. I also have a 6-star Morningstar and a 5-star Morningstar, by the way. A lot of these characters, but also Sasquatch, I have left him out. I think he's a very cool character. I have a lot of videos on him. I think he's a good defender, good attacker, overall a solid character, and if I have a 6-star awakened one, I would rank 3 him. But at the same time, I do not think that he is better than the 10 characters I have in the list. But again, with Morningstar, I just straight up forgot about her, so I would place her in the top 10 and probably remove Mojo. And then Scarlet Witch is another powerful character. Not that common as a 5-star, but if you have her at high signature level, again, I don't give that much value to characters who you can't reliably do something with. So let's say if you want power control, maybe Scarlet Witch sometime will get the power drain, but sometimes she won't, and you'll end up getting hit by a special attack, I guess. And same goes for regeneration. Sometimes when you are full health, you're going to proc 2. Sometimes you are at 2%, you really need it and you won't get it. So that is the thing which makes Scarlet Witch she's capable of a lot of damage for sure, but she's not that available as a 5-star, which kind of made me remove her from this list. Plus she doesn't her utility, she has utility, but she doesn't she isn't very reliable with it. And then we have characters like Hood. I really like him, a powerful character with his daggers, but overall I don't think that characters like Hood or Mephisto or Ghost Rider, even though they have a lot of utility, I don't think they belong in a top 10 list in 2021. But with that being said, like Ghost Rider, still, if you're making a list about top AQ characters, I would, even though I don't see people using him like map 7, but I really value Ghost Rider for sure. And that is my list. Do let me know if you agree with these placements. If you disagree, how would you have placed these characters differently? I'm sure some people would disagree, but that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Like this video, share with the alliance, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are pushing for 3,000 subscribers in January, so yeah, let's make that happen. Stay safe and bye bye.